a golfer that feels like they have a really hard time as they take their backswing, not swaying off the golf ball. So you might look like this as you're going back and trying to load up that golf swing. Well, ideally we all know that as we load back, we're trying not to shift off the ball. Because all we're going to have to do is once we shift off the ball is we're going to have to shift our weight even further forward as we're coming down into impact. So I have a few different drills that I want to show you today that we can work on in the gym that will help you build up some strength in that lateral hip and some stability in that lateral hip, so we can get those nice big turns and we can load into that backside, but we're not swaying off the ball. So I'm going to show you two different variations. One's going to be a goblet lateral lunge and the other one's going to be a lateral lunge on a slider. I would suggest that you start with the goblet lateral lunge, give that a whirl for a little while, and then we can advance our way to the slider lateral lunge. So the goblet lateral lunge would look like this. What I want you to do is grab a nice light kettlebell, doesn't have to be anything too crazy. Start, and what I want you to do is hold it right at the chest. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be stepping to the side. I'm going to be loading into my right hip and my right glute. As I do that, my left leg is going to be extending out to a nice straight position. So it's going to look like this. Step to the side, load into this hip here, straightening this knee here, and then we're going to drive back out of it into that tall position. Sitting down into that hip, drive back tall. We'll go 3 sets of 6 to 8 on each side, and as we go, we'll start with the lighter weight, and over the weeks, I want you to try to build up a little bit extra weight as you go. The other option, which is going to be a little bit more difficult, is we're going to put our foot on a slider here. Now what I'm going to be working on is I'm going to be working on this left hip. So from here, what I want you to do is make sure we keep all of the weight centered over this leg here, and we're going to load into this hip. If we put our weight out to this side, you're going to end up in a split, and it's not going to be very comfortable. So as I go, what I'm going to do is think about sitting back into this hip and glute. I'm going to reach the other leg out, really owning that stability and strength in that left hip, and then drive back to that tall position. Same thing goes here. 3 sets of 6 to 8 is a good spot to start. Start nice and light and work your way up on the weight. So give those both a try. And as always, if you have any questions, please leave a comment. We're glad to give you a hand.